Is Donald Trump an idiot? Or is there more to this man than meets the eye? That's the question we're going to explore today. It's a query that's been plastered across headlines, whispered in corridors of power, and debated at kitchen tables. The relevance. This man has shaped world events, policies, and public discourse. The stakes. Understanding the impact his actions and words have on our lives, our society. Join us as we delve into specific actions and statements of Donald Trump that have attracted criticism. Donald Trump's presidency was marked by a string of controversial decisions and actions. Let's dive right into it. His handling of the COVID-19 pandemic was a hot topic of debate. Trump's response was often seen as dismissive, downplaying the severity of the virus and at times promoting unproven treatments. He was heavily criticized for his lack of a unified national strategy, leading to disjointed efforts by individual states. The result? A high death toll and a battered economy. Then there's the issue of immigration. Trump's zero-tolerance policy led to the separation of thousands of children from their parents at the US-Mexico border. The policy was touted as a deterrent to illegal immigration, but the human cost was immense. Images of children in cages sparked international outrage, and the policy was eventually reversed, but not before it had left a lasting scar on the nation's conscience. Let's not forget his approach to international relations. Trump's preference for unilateral action over multilateral cooperation led to strained relationships with traditional allies. His withdrawal from international agreements, like the Paris Agreement on climate change and the Iran nuclear deal, was seen by many as a rejection of the global order. His relationship with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, marked by a mix of fiery rhetoric and diplomatic engagement, left the world on edge. His trade wars, particularly with China, resulted in economic uncertainty and job losses in several sectors. Despite promises of bringing back jobs and boosting the economy, the trade war seemed to do more harm than good. Trump's presidency, without doubt, was marked by a series of controversial decisions and actions. They were bold, they were brash, and they often flew in the face of conventional wisdom. Many questioned his approach, his motives, and yes, even his intelligence. These actions have led many to question Trump's competence and intelligence. But are they the actions of an idiot, or is there a method to the madness? We'll continue to explore this in our next segment. Stay tuned. In addition to his actions, Trump's public statements have often been a source of controversy. One of the main arenas where his words have sparked debate is climate change. He's been quoted saying that climate change is a hoax perpetrated by the Chinese, a statement that not only dismisses the overwhelming consensus of the scientific community, but also stokes geopolitical tensions. Then there's his response to the Black Lives Matter protests. Rather than showing empathy and understanding towards the fight against systemic racism, his words have often been divisive, stirring up further tension in an already fraught situation. His infamous "when the looting starts, the shooting starts" tweet is a glaring example of this. And let's not forget his claims about election fraud. Despite the lack of substantial evidence and court rulings against him, he continued to assert that the 2020 presidential election was stolen from him. This undermined the democratic process, sowed distrust among his followers, and created an environment ripe for misinformation. Each of these statements, in isolation, could be chalked up to a lack of understanding or a poor choice of words. But when seen together, they paint a picture of a man who seems to disregard facts, stoke division, and undermine democratic norms. These statements have further fueled doubts about Trump's intelligence. But could there be a strategic reason behind these seemingly foolish words? So, is Donald Trump an idiot, or is he a master of manipulation? We've covered quite a bit of ground here, exploring some of the most controversial actions and statements attributed to the former president. These instances, at times, may have painted a picture of impulsiveness or lack of foresight. However, one could argue that these seemingly reckless actions and statements were not mere blunders. They could be seen as strategic moves designed to appeal to a specific demographic, his base, effectively using controversy as a tool to maintain relevance and support. As we've seen, this approach has resulted in a presidency that was anything but conventional, stirring up strong emotions and debates across the globe. Whether Donald Trump is an idiot or a master strategist is a question that will continue to be debated. What is clear, however, is that his presidency was anything but ordinary.